Okay, let me try to increase my volume. Can you guys hear me? Am I clear? Or maybe I'm still breaking? Testing one more time. Can you guys hear me? Am I loud and clear? Or I'm still breaking? Oh, sorry about that. Let me try to change my network. Yes, testing one more time. Testing, 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 testing. Okay. Yes, is my screen now stable? Hello, is my screen now stable? And is my am I breaking again? Okay, but now everything is good. Okay, okay. So good evening once again. Uh, okay, good evening once again. Hope you're doing fine, and it is good. Uh, can doing fine. Not sure about it, but uh, sometimes you have to continue in life. And also, I will ask you if you had issues with installing either Node.js or VS Code in your machines. Please get back to me so I can help you to install the two software on your machine. It doesn't matter if you're using a Mac or you're using a Windows or Linux, we can help you to install those two software on your machine. So to get to think a bit faster, if you have already installed Node on your machine, so we are supposed to install Node.js, Node.js, and Visual Studio Code. For those who are not around on last Friday, we said we're going to have to install some few software on your machine, programs, and for the time being, we'll be installing uh, Node.js and Visual Studio Code for the time being. But later on, we also install Git and other things, Git, Python, and also Yarn. So if you had issues installing the two, please get back to me so I can help you to install them. But hopefully, most of you have already installed this. So for those who haven't yet installed Node.js, please do just head over to nodejs.org and install. Head over to nodejs.org and install the latest stable version of uh, the long time support. This first one here. Feel free if you want to experiment with a with a better one, but it's alright. But I prefer downloading the long time support one because it's more stable. Has been tested by so many users. For Visual Studio Code, is what we'll be using as our text editor, which is preferred Visual Studio Code. You can head over to Visual Studio Code.microsoft.com and download Visual Studio Code, which is our text editor. This is our Visual Studio Code. Supposed to be Visual Studio Code. Yeah, supposed to be code.visualstudiocode.com. Sorry about that. Yes. So if you have either using Atom or using Sublime or using any other text editor, as long as it can do syntax highlighting and can at least give you like comfortable. Feel free to use any editor, but personally I would recommend Visual Studio Code because it's quite stable. Yeah, it's more stable, and I think it's one of the uh, popular text editor around here, around the world when it comes to editing code. It's free, it's open source, and it's quite stable. It has like lots of features which we'll be using. So for now, last Friday we discussed TypeScript, but as I promised, we're going to look at it one more time, like from zero. Okay. So for our curriculum, which I will share it all the time. Let me pull up my curriculum for a moment. Okay, curriculum, study that. So as I'm putting up the curriculum, moment. So for our curriculum, okay, for our curriculum, we are supposed to have TypeScript basics at GitHub in this first week, okay? But we'll be learning version control or Git and GitHub, or at least doing something with Python first, with TypeScript. So we don't just be doing only like one was on Git, but we did because Git and GitHub continuous within the course. So it's not how you did on its own, but it should be part of every lesson that we having. So I'll show you maybe Git at the end of this lesson. how it works. But for now, I want us to look at TypeScript basics. Yeah. So last Friday we looked at introduction, but some of you maybe are not there. But even if you are there, we are going to at least try to recall or recap on what we did on last Friday. So let me pull up something here real quick. Good. Okay, so we are going to look at TypeScript. Okay, so TypeScript. What is TypeScript? Okay, so within today, I'm going to discuss at least the three questions that most people ask when beginning with TypeScript. What is TypeScript? Okay, why do we need to learn TypeScript? Okay, and how to begin learning TypeScript. Okay, so I'm going to discuss those three questions today. We're going to also try to do some at least some examples. Okay, then you're going to also try maybe like live coding session with TypeScript. So TypeScript. So what is TypeScript? Okay, like from last time, we had discussed TypeScript, this and this, but to make things a bit faster and make things easier for us, TypeScript is an open source language which builds on JavaScript. It's not built with JavaScript, but it builds on JavaScript. So TypeScript is a whole different language, but it works almost the same way as JavaScript, but with added features. And those added features are what you call static type definitions. Okay, don't worry about the language or this static type definition, the meaning, but we're going to look at it later on and see what we mean by static type definitions. So, by the simple terms, it's just something like JavaScript. There's no difference. It's, the difference between JavaScript and TypeScript is TypeScript has types and it makes you write better code rather than writing JavaScript code which is not strict. Okay? So TypeScript helps you to write very strict JavaScript code. That's all it does. Okay? And one note, JavaScript is both TypeScript is both a language and also what we call a program or a compiler. Okay? So don't worry about the technical stuff, but remember it's a language which looks and works close enough to JavaScript, but with added type, with added syntax for type definitions. If you are new to JavaScript, uh, or if you have never heard of JavaScript, I think I think most of you have heard of JavaScript. So I don't think none of you have never heard of JavaScript. So not everyone is sure JavaScript. They do JavaScript because before joining the program, you took a test on JavaScript. So I'm pretty sure that 95% of you know JavaScript. Okay, and you don't need to be an expert in JavaScript to try TypeScript, but just need to know the basics. Okay, the basic syntax of JavaScript. Okay, so and this question is why do we need to learn TypeScript? Why don't we just move on with JavaScript to life? Okay, so one thing is when you do JavaScript, you reach a point where you want to do tests, okay, testing your code. Okay, but when it comes to testing your code with JavaScript, you have to repeat the same steps that could have been skipped if you are using TypeScript. Because with TypeScript, it helps you to write better code and to avoid unnecessary tests in the future. Okay? I said one of the big benefits is to enable IDs to provide a rich environment for spotting common errors as you type the code. Okay? Has and almost it has a low learning curve. So it's just I think it's almost flat. Okay? You don't have to well at least if you know JavaScript, TypeScript code becomes kind of so easy, okay? Becomes just a simple snack for you to chew. And how to begin learning TypeScript, okay? That's the question. Is it's quite simple to begin. You simply get your JavaScript file and change it to TypeScript. So from JS to TS, and that's it. We are now into writing TypeScript code. The same code that's running JavaScript to run with TypeScript. Okay, so TypeScript and JavaScript are the same things. Difference is TypeScript, like as I said here, difference is TypeScript is bigger than JavaScript. That's all. Okay, and after changing the okay, let's see. After changing uh, the JS file to TS file, you can begin writing TypeScript code. Okay? Before you actually begin trying to run a TypeScript code, you need to install what you call the TypeScript compiler, because TypeScript can never be read by the web, or because Node.js was built for JavaScript. And TypeScript was built to just make JavaScript more statically or dynamically typed. So the other way for you to run TypeScript is to convert it back to JavaScript. Okay? And it may sound intuitive for you to write TypeScript and convert it, but the same thing as if you look at SAS. SAS, you can't run SAS. The other way you can run SAS is for you to compile it to CSS. Okay, same thing applies to TypeScript. TypeScript, you have to convert it back to JavaScript. Because if you remember, the building blocks of the web are JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So TypeScript is simply a language which has to be converted back to JavaScript, because the web or even Node.js cannot read TypeScript. So after installing your TypeScript compiler, you go ahead and compile your TypeScript code to JavaScript and then run it like normally. Okay? You can link it maybe using HTML tags. You can run it in Node environment. I'm going to look at that later on, and that's all. Okay. So the first step was to start including type definitions in the TypeScript. Don't worry about type definitions. We are going to look at type definitions with TypeScript. Good. So the last bit of it is how to install TypeScript. Okay, that's what I'm going to discuss today. That's what we're going to type out. Okay, from from scratch. Okay, so let me just end this. Then to begin, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go ahead. For those who are using Mac or using Linux, you can open up your terminal. Okay? Terminal. You just type the search bar terminal. Okay. In my case, I'm gonna search for CMD. Okay. Or command prompt for what I'm using Windows. Okay. So in my case, if you look, I'm having this. It's quite big. Smaller. Having this command prompt. Okay. Okay. So this is command prompt. Some of you may not have. Actually, most of you, if you are using Windows, you'll be having command prompt. Okay. But in today's case, I won't be using command prompt. Okay. I'll be using something called bash or git bash. So if you want to follow along, you can simply use, hopefully you can see it. You can simply open up your command prompt if you don't have bash installed in your machine. But if you have bash, or if you're on Linux or Mac, it's the same experience. Simply type terminal. So in my case, I'll type bash because I'm on Windows. I'll open up git bash. Okay? Okay. Let me try to change the thing. It is a bit old. Okay, so in my case, I'm using Git Bash. Okay, so if you want to have the same terminal as me, if you have Windows, simply install Git on the machine. Okay, let me share the link with you. So install Git. Okay, and remember to check the button which says uh, install Git Bash. Okay, but if you're on Linux or you are Mac, you are good to go. Just open up the terminal. Okay, just type in the search bar terminal. Okay, it will bring for you something close to this. Okay, it won't be exactly like mine, but close enough. Okay, so the first command that you run after installing Node Node.js is for you to check the version of Node on your machine. So you simply type Node dash dash version. Okay, to work both on Mac, on Linux, and on Windows. Okay, so my case that's telling me I'm having 14.16. If I check with this version, same version as here, although mine is I think it's one version below, because I'm having 14.16, and I'm having 14.16.1, but that doesn't matter. Okay, it will still work the same way. Okay, so after you checking your node version, so the first command is for you to check node. So let's test it. Uh, let's test it with in the chat. Okay, so it is node dash dash version. Okay, and then after that you can see when you install node, you can run node by simply pressing mod or node. Okay, then it will give you like some kind of an environment where you can run node. Okay, but we won't be looking at this today, but I just telling you to explore, you can explore it. Okay, so I think uh, what is it progressive. Okay, so with this we have check node, we have our version, the version here. Okay, we have our version. Okay, can be 15, but as long as you have 8 point something and above. Okay, okay. The next step is for you to install a TypeScript. Okay? And because sometimes maybe you want to try it out yourself, simply go ahead and read about TypeScript. And they are telling you try out TypeScript. Okay? Telling you try out TypeScript on your computer. So where did I get this information? I got it from this website. Okay, let me just copy it for you and paste it. So that when you feel like okay, I need to go and read to save land, you can do this. Okay? So they're telling you can either install it npm. Okay, and they're telling you install it globally. You can use this command code npm install TypeScript. But we haven't yet looked at npm. Okay? So npm is what we call node package manager. Okay, together. That's the name of what of npm. Okay, so it's equal to what npm. Okay? Npm is as node package manager. It's just a tool for you to download packages which are JavaScript packages. Okay, so it helps you to what to download uh, TypeScript node packages. Okay, so don't worry about the node packages, but we are going to look at all that later on. But remember, npm stands for node package manager. So node npm is comes in when you are ready. So when you install node.js on your machine, automatically npm gets installed. Okay, the machine. Okay? So you can still type npm. Okay, check npm dash dash version. Okay? So you can see in that case it will show me the version is 66.14.11. Okay, so my case I'm having 6.14.11, but that doesn't matter as long as you have npm installed on your machine. then you can move on to the next step. The next step is for you. I'm also type this for you and let's put it in the chat. Copy in the chat. So we are checking the node the npm version. Okay, just to make sure that you have node installed and also npm. Sometimes npm might not be installed on a machine. Okay, then you have to also manually install it. Okay, especially when it comes to Linux machines, you have to also manually install some things. Okay, but for now, if you're using Windows or Mac and you have installed Node.js, you have these two software on your machine. Okay? So next bit of it is for us to install TypeScript. Okay? To install TypeScript from our slides here, you can see we are using npm install dash g TypeScript. Okay? So back to our terminal here, I can type npm, okay, npm dash npm install, okay, install dash g type script. Okay. Personally, I've already installed TypeScript, so but still doesn't matter. I'll install it, okay, to TypeScript. Okay. It will take some time to install, but to install it, okay, to install TypeScript to the machine. So it will take maybe like 1 or 2 minutes to install, okay. But in that case, since I already have this already installed on my machine, I can now check the version, okay. I can simply type TSC, okay, to check the version, okay. So let me copy this command and paste it in the chat. Okay. So I'm having npm install dash g TypeScript. Right now we are installing the TypeScript compiler, which will allow us to compile TypeScript to JavaScript. Okay? So TSC stands for TypeScript compiler. Okay? Compiler. Okay? That's what it stands for. Okay? So for you to check the version of TypeScript or the TypeScript compiler, simply type tsc dash dash version. Okay, okay, enter to show me my TypeScript compiler version is 4.2.4. Okay. This is the latest long-term supported version of TypeScript. Okay, or the latest version of TypeScript. Okay, currently right now. But maybe in your case you have maybe 3 point something, doesn't matter. Okay, as long as you have some version of TypeScript installed that on the machine. Okay, but now. So after checking your node, your npm and everything, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder somewhere on the desktop, maybe anywhere in my file structure to be able to what to have to start a project. Okay. So in that case, I'll cd to desktop. I think I'll cd into documents here. Okay, documents. Okay, documents. Okay. Then I'll create these commands. They are simply I think that terminal commands, the cd terminal command, and also they make dir, right, the terminal command. Okay. If you're not sure of this, don't worry about also maybe throughout the whole course, we will look at all these terminal commands. Okay. Example cd means change directory, make mkdir means make directory. Okay. So I'm saying make maybe our type TypeScript, okay. TypeScript basics. Okay. Yeah, just make it for words. Okay. TypeScript as basics. Okay. So then I can cd into TypeScript basics. Okay. Now in my case, I'll this folder. Okay. So one more command which I want to show you, open up VS Code real quick. If you have already installed VS Code machine, is code, okay, code space dot. Okay, code stands for Visual Studio Code. Okay, so I'm saying open up this folder in Visual Studio Code. Okay, so wait for it to come in a minute. So this is Visual Studio Code. Okay, this is Visual Studio Code. Some of you maybe are familiar with this Visual Studio Code. Some of it is new to you. but I think it's quite easy to navigate, just in like any other software. Okay, you have maybe your menu here, you have your sidebar here, and maybe some bunch of other things to do. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a file. Okay, so you can create a file by pressing Control D. Okay, like the way you do it in Microsoft Word. So say Control D. Okay, this will be a file. Then I can save the file by pressing Control S. Okay, see on the Mac I think it's Command S. Okay? So I'll save it as, let's first save it as just file. Okay, so I'll say index.js. Okay, so in that case here, this is a JavaScript file. Okay, I can write JavaScript code. For example, I can write maybe like let declare a variable. Okay, so I can declare a variable. Variable. I'm going to be using the ES6 syntax. Okay, so I'll be using uh, the ES6 syntax. So the ES6 syntax, we don't use var, but we use let. Okay, so we use let, okay, instead of var. Okay, and don't worry, I'm going to also get reasons why we are using let instead of var. Okay, so maybe for example, I can say let my name, okay, equals to Eric. Okay, that's my name. Okay? So this is JavaScript. Okay, and as I told you before, let me see, in this slides, okay, to get started with TypeScript, you simply change the file from JS to TS. Okay? So quite simple to become to our file or our base code, and we change the name from index.ts to index.ts. Okay, and that's it. Okay, it's done. Now we are writing TypeScript. Okay, we are no longer writing JavaScript. Okay, and with this it gives us more power. Okay, towards JavaScript. For example, let's first go back to JavaScript file. Okay, like that. For example, in our case, you can see you can see that. Okay, let me say this because you don't have it. You can see if you hover on the variable, saying it's telling you let my name and this two dots string. I think for other text editors, I'm not sure because I'm a guy who loves Visual Code. I would get explored other text editors because I've also forgotten about those ones which I used at the beginning. I'm using Visual Code. But for now, if you hover it, you are seeing let by name string. Okay, so this syntax here, okay, is TypeScript because previously code was built with TypeScript and was built with TypeScript in mind, so it gets to uh, highlight code by giving us some parts of TypeScript. Okay? So in that case here, you are seeing tell you let my name and tell you the type of this variable is a string. Okay, the string. So if I try to write this code here down there, maybe to write, should say let so let's say my age here. So my name is the same variable here because it's just to complain, and I say maybe string. Okay, it will tell me interface. Okay, type annotations can only be used in TypeScript. Okay? So such way of writing code, you can only write it in TypeScript. That's why we are doing TypeScript instead of JavaScript. Okay? And of course, if you look at this, it's already an error. Okay? Because you cannot declare a same variable name and it works. Okay? So we're gonna see TypeScript in a moment. Okay? So let's just put remove everything, then go back and change this one to to TS. Okay, TS. Okay? I've just changed the name from the index.js to index.ts. TS. Okay? So you can see if I try to declare and try to put maybe say let my name. Okay? The moment I put this variable called my name, okay, it gives me some feedback saying, it's saying cannot declare a block scope variable by name. Okay, that means you already catching errors. Okay, right away. Okay, but with JavaScript, this error you couldn't be able to catch it. Okay, in that case, I can also come and say, this is this error. I can come back and say because string. Okay, so that's one of the uses of what of TypeScript. Okay? Good. So before I begin the next part, which is exploring types in TypeScript, that do any of you have a question for me from what I've been speaking ever since the last 20 minutes? Yes, any questions? If you have questions, please go ahead and write them in the chat. Okay. Any questions?
Hi, Eric.
Yes, 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 Marcy. Any questions?
Online,
Yes.
I still don't, on line 5, I still don't understand the string bit of it. What is string
Okay.
supposed to be? A type or an object? I don't know.
Okay, don't worry. We're going to also discuss this in the next 20 minutes. Okay. So, no worries. Uh, I said I wasn't able to install the command the Tunga error. Okay. Okay. So, let's say that with so if you have some errors in TypeScript, in TypeScript, don't worries. Just for today, simply just follow along with me. Yes, you can type the code, but put compile. Don't worry about it. We are going to help you to install TypeScript very well on your machine. Okay, so no worries. And Bas was asking, is TypeScript is this big code as strict? Is what you call an interface. In this case, if it's capital S, it's an interface. Small s, I think it's a type. Okay. Let me see. Should show me a type. This is a type, but if it's capital S, it's an interface. Don't worry about the stuff, but don't worry. Okay. Let's now get to today's whole thing of types and stuff. Okay. So let's get back to some questions that she asked me, which what the heck is this thing called string? Okay. Okay. So let's go back to string. Okay. So I'm going to first look at what we call uh, types. Okay. So in beauty types. Okay. By by TypeScript. Okay. Types by TS. By TS. Okay. So when you change your file from JS to DS, it gives you some added advantages. Okay. And the first advantage it gives you is the ability to add a type to your code. Okay. To make sure that this variable has to be this type. Okay. So for the first one, declare a variable like let my name, okay, equals, okay, maybe equals to everything together. And you can see here in our case here, okay, this name is assigned to a variable of Eric, and Eric is a string. Okay, you understand? Eric, okay, is a string together. So with JavaScript, you can do this. Okay, you can say it works the same way. Okay, but to have what you call strict type checking. Okay, make sure that this variable called by name, it's that for example it's strictly uh, a strict, you what you call, you put a type. Okay, and to put a type, you put uh, semicolons just after the variable name, semicolons, then either you can use the interface, which is capital S string, okay, or you can use small s, clear matter, okay. But for now, I'm gonna be using a small s, okay, string, small s, okay, together. And with this, you may think it's like it's just useless. Why do we have to put string, okay? But now, uh, let me show you why we need to put this. We put this string. Okay? An example: imagine I say Eric equals now maybe like 20. Okay, you know, you tell me type number is not assignable to type string. Okay, it means that this number by name it can only be at a string. Okay, that's why because this is a variable declaration, this assigned. So this left part is you declare a variable, the next part you assign. Okay, so it says you that the type number is not assignable to type string. Okay, at this moment you may think, oh, this is like like that, but when the application becomes bigger, when it comes to big functions, to big different modules, this becomes important because you may end up spending countless hours trying to figure out why is my thing not working. Okay? But we will also look at it later on. But I'm just showing you how to declare a type. Okay, so the declare a type is simply declare the variable like let the variable name, then you put single colon, then you put the type. Okay, so the first type which I've already looked at right now is type string. Okay, type string. So the other types, the types are, are relative to the data types. Okay, the data types of so this is a disclaimer, but all in our case here, you can say uh, all data types, all primitive data types are considered 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 types. Okay, I think yeah, all of them. Okay, so in that case we have it type string, and they can say it gives an error. It can be assigned to type type like type number cannot be assigned to type string. So for example, let's have a string of saying and my name is what is everything. Correct. I come and say maybe I say I want to change, okay? Or we assign the variable, maybe I say my name, in my case my name here equals maybe equals to 100, okay? Still to complete saying that to complete saying by name or type number you don't assign them to type string because this allows us to avoid so many errors. Like for example, when you are doing a simple calculator app, you want to get the values as numbers. But sometimes when you add two numbers, or sorry, you add two strings, they concatenate instead of adding. So those small areas, don't look at them later on. Okay, but for now, this is simple an introduction, okay, to how you can write types. Okay? So we look at the type number, the type string. Okay? Then you can also look at the uh, type boolean, which is boolean, okay? Which is like maybe you can select let's see truthy, let truthy okay? Equals maybe to maybe let's say let truthy equals okay, let truthy like this okay, together we are in this case we are declaring a variable okay, but we are not assigning it anything okay? So here it's called declaring okay, a variable okay, so I don't assigning okay, it okay? So it's possible you can write this okay, and declare variables which you will use later in the future okay. And so now uh, truthy here equals maybe to true okay. And that case here to work can say maybe can say the truthy here equals maybe to equals to 90 okay. There's no error okay, because this this does not you haven't yet given it a strict type. Okay? We have given it a type definition. And you can see, and I'll tell you, variable truthy is implicitly has an edit type. Okay? But a better type may be inferred from reading. Okay? So you can say in this case here, to make it strict, we are saying let truthy be a boolean. Okay? Let's see if we try boolean here. Boolean. Okay? Boolean. Supposed to be a boolean. Sorry about boolean. Okay? And now they're telling you truthy is a boolean. Okay? So the next line, line 16, type number is not assignable to type boolean. Okay? So those are the types. Okay? So you strictly give a variable a type, okay? which like all the variables which are assigned this variable, they have to be the same type. Okay? So you cannot assign 20 to 90 because 90 is what is not a boolean, right? It's a number. Okay? That's why. Okay? So you can assign 20 to false. Okay? And it works. Okay? To work something. Okay? Simple as that. Okay? So these are type 20, so type boolean. Also look at type 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 number. Okay, type number is very simple. Same thing. You say let's have maybe like let maybe none. Okay, then number. Okay, just like that. Okay, number. Remember, if you look at what I'm doing, all the types are in small letters. Okay, it's boolean number. Okay, together. Those are simple types. Okay, we go look at types as something which is gonna be called interfaces. Okay, so maybe in your paper you can look at interfaces together, just like that, interfaces. We have type number, we have type string, we have type boolean. What is we have type? What type is what? String, boolean. Uh, yes, these are the the common primitive types. Okay, string, boolean, and number. Okay, these are the primitive types. Yeah, so I can say maybe most of primitive types are considered types. Okay? So one other thing which is a bit kind of nice is array. Okay, arrays. Okay, so type uh, type type array number. Okay, array number. Okay, or number array. Number comes in the bit. Number array. Can it be the way you want number array? Okay, so number array is because you are going to dealing with what with with primitive data types, string, boolean, number. Okay, so for arrays it's almost the same thing. Difference is for arrays you do let. Okay, maybe let's say my num array. Okay, uh, to make it a type of something, of maybe I want my array to contain all the numbers. For example, I can say uh, numbers. Okay, together number. I just say number, the type of number. Then I put the sign what for an array, which is uh, square brackets. Okay? So you can see now, let me see, goes so you can see type of number array. Okay, so in that case, if I come here and I say my num the num array, okay, I say equals maybe to one. Okay, to tell me type of number is not assignable to type of number array. Okay, so in that case, if I do maybe at another thing, I say on string, to say hello. Okay, they will tell me type string is not assignable to type number because this number has to contain, so this array has to contain only and only numbers. So it will be, if I put maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 5, okay. If I put another array and I put anything else here, okay, to see what. But if I put a string inside this array, here, hello, hello, it still works because, okay, I put comma here. Okay. Still gives me an error, okay. Type of string is not assignable, type of number, okay. Even if I go ahead and put maybe number, okay. So tell me type of number, not assignable type of number, okay. So this array here has contained only and only numbers, okay. So that's the case here, okay. I've looked at number array. For declare maybe an array of strings. Same thing you do. I said this is string. Because there's so many, because arrays can have all this, okay? Can have an array of booleans, an array of numbers, okay? So the difference is simply, let me say, can have, maybe you can have, let's say, string array, okay? You can have to pick something as singlet by string matter by string array, okay? Array, then you put your brackets here, you say string, small caps, then you put your uh, square brackets, okay? You can say maybe equals to something to maybe to hello, okay? Comma. Yeah, string of maybe of this, okay? No matter. Okay? So we also have another booleans, same way, same syntax, okay? Same syntax happens for another booleans, another of what of everything. Okay? So for the last was I think we can also have an object, okay? So because you can also attempt an array of what of booleans, that boolean array. Okay, so let do pick let by boolean array array. Then you can say boolean just like that. Okay, then you can say equals to an array of true, comma, false, anything. But what if you put a number? It will complain. Because you say type number is not assignable to type of boolean. So as simple as that. That's how you declare different types. Okay. So the last type, which is the most type, which is kind of weird to work with. Okay. What you call uh, the last types. Okay. The second last one, which is called type of object. Type of object. Type object. Okay. So maybe I can say let let's say by o obj obj okay equals okay or maybe object okay I'll say okay so here okay because remember we have arrays, we have booleans, numbers, strings, and objects okay so objects you can say equals to this okay this curly braces here and it works okay but if I try to say equals to number to complain okay to say type number is not assignable to type object okay if I try to put maybe an array it will work because an array is an object okay? It's a bit weird but that's why it's a bit kind of tricky to work with because an object can be an array or it can be an object literally okay so those are the simple types okay so if you want to declare maybe this weird looking uh, syntax or rather an object literal which has maybe has name just let's say in my case is Eric again maybe like this edge still maybe okay like that you can now understand that this is instead of using boolean or you can have what uh, an object like that and oh, what I also got one more type for boolean you can also have a list sorry uh, a boolean array okay so you can have let okay. I have maybe my object array, object array, okay, equals to, let's say object like that. Then you put your that's equals to. Can have you can have now you can have your maybe this. Yeah, you can also have maybe your arrays here, okay? So your arrays, okay? They still work with it. They still work the same way, okay? Because object is a global variable which declares either arrays and numbers, sorry, arrays and object literals. Those are the types which I've declared so far, okay? So I think I'll share this with you sorry, in that GitHub repo, okay? So you can have a copy of this. Okay. So per now, at least we have looked through all the types which are available for us in TypeScript, okay? So I'm going to take questions because I'm going to take questions. If you have questions, please ask questions because questions are important. Any questions? Okay. We're asking between a string and a string. Oh, okay. So this with TypeScript, you have maybe I'm way ahead, but with TypeScript, you have two types of ways of creating a type. Okay, you have what you call types. Okay, together. So have uh, what you call interfaces. Okay, interfaces together, and with the inbuilt-in interfaces which come with TypeScript, usually they declare the interfaces with capital, they start with uppercase, with sentence case. Okay, so for example, if I say let maybe my string, okay, that my string, and I put uh, these two, sorry, the full colon, and I say capital S, which is string, which is capital S string like that. Okay, it will tell me uh, by string. Okay, but if I hover on this string itself, okay, tell me interface string. Okay, because if you look at here, if I can't hover, it will show me that. Okay, but if I hover on this, okay, it shows me string. Okay, and allows manipulation automatic of strings. Okay, so this is also it doesn't matter. You can either use interface what or types, but since I don't introduce types, that's why I was recommending to use string, so to use types instead of interfaces. So possibly let my string. If I do my string here, my string, let's say equals maybe to number, they'll tell me type of number is not assignable type of string. Same thing as a matter can change. Okay, so string types and interfaces have come a long way and almost like the same thing. Okay, so since TypeScript has both interfaces and both types, it can get confusing, but they almost work the same way. So whether it's capital letters or small letters, but okay. Bible without a type, can it be used as an object? Yes. Oh, yes, it can be used as an object. For example, when I actually forgotten to tell you this. Thank you for reminding me. So the last type which I didn't talk about is called the type AD. Okay, type AD. Okay, type AD is simply the type which allows you to assign anything to it. Okay, can I say maybe let maybe some random variable, some random variable, okay, together equals AD, okay. Then I can say, and I can say equals to maybe to 30 here, okay, comma would be like a string of 80, okay, together. I come and I say maybe again some random variable here equals to maybe to true, okay, to complain, okay, to complain, because Eddie says it doesn't matter, okay, doesn't matter, okay, what you assign to Eddie is just is actually Eddie is what we do what in JavaScript. So for JavaScript, Eddie is the type that's there, okay, because anytime you can assign anything, doesn't matter, okay. For JavaScript, you can write your variable like this, then you say in the future I want the variable to be maybe a string. Again, I want it to be what to be a number, not be an array. Okay. So with Eddie, that's how it works. So same thing you can apply. You can say you can decide to not put anything. Okay. But it will try to infer. Okay. So in our case here, if you so this is also what I prepare for tomorrow, but let me also share this in advance. So when you say type Eddie, oh, yes. So what is yes. So when I say type any, it would for TypeScript you have to does it mean that you're assigning some variable? No. When I say type some like let some type and I say any, I'm saying let the type of this of this of what I've assigned to let it be anything. It can be anything you want, okay? Can be even a function, can be even a number, can be a boolean, it can be anything. So when I try to change or reassign to a different value, it will not complain. Okay? But sometimes when maybe I do here, can I say let be an array of of let be sorry, let be a number array, okay? Number array, okay? Then it will complain, okay? But when I do let be, I say we can let it be an array of any, okay? Just an array of any, okay? So suppose we can say an array of any. It then complain, okay? But to compare because you can't assign a boolean to an array. But you can assign it to a array here is possible, okay? So that's how I always of it. It's like when you use any is like it's like number and boolean, okay? Work the same way, okay? Remember arrays are the unique things. You can have an array of anything. That's why you can have an array of any. Okay? You can have an array of numbers, array of string, array of objects, okay? So when it comes to arrays, works. But any, okay? Any says you can reassign it to anything, okay? Whether number, whether boolean, whether string. Okay? I hope I've got that mean you are reassigning somebody. Yes, your question is not clear, but in a way, because I'm using let, I can reassign variables, okay? I can say equals maybe to I'll just string hello. Okay, good, okay? So in my case, types help us to strictly type our code, okay? To help us like sure that this variable, this function takes the parameters. Maybe I won't do that function later on, but this variable, or this parameter, or this argument, it has to be strictly of this type, okay? When it's a string, it has to be a string. When it's a boolean, it has to be a boolean, okay? And that's the gist of what of TypeScript, okay? You can actually begin writing your JavaScript code and and including the types, okay? Look at this type is a number, okay? That's all, okay? Good. So I think I've answered your few questions you had, okay? Uh, yes, I think on Wednesday we're going to look at unions, okay? Unions of types, okay? Together. Also look at interfaces, okay? Interfaces, okay? Interfaces. Simply read about those two unions of types or type unions, okay? And interfaces, okay? That's all for the two, okay? So Any more questions before we close? Okay, I think, let me see. Stacy was asking, you said you will share the recordings of the lesson. Okay, so the one on Friday, it came out very bad. The sound was, I think, was an issue with the recording software. So the sound was not very good. So I'm hoping today's lesson, the sound comes out very nicely. So we can at least upload it and share it with you guys. So any questions? Because you're almost going to do our time because it's supposed to be 1 hour session. But any questions or anything you want me to clarify? Okay, I'm waiting for the questions. If you have questions, okay. Okay, no question, no question. So any other questions regarding this? Yes. Okay, since people have no questions, I'm going to end today's session today. And but before actually end the session today, uh, please, if possible, if you have time, go ahead and look at the documentation of TypeScript. It's quite well written. It's very well arranged for you. Like for example, in my case, we are looking at TypeScript for JS programmers, or JS programmers, and they will tell you all these things. Okay, all this. Just read through it. Okay, and this is your questions you can ask them. Okay, those who haven't yet joined the WhatsApp channel, please do. I'll share it. Let's supposed to share the link here. Let me see. Let me share the link here because I think you have some numbers here. Let me share the link for WhatsApp group. How do I share the WhatsApp group here? Okay. Okay, let me share the WhatsApp group link. Those guys who have it yet. So I've shared a WhatsApp group link. Okay, so please go ahead and join if you haven't joined, and also make introductions, people. I'm having many numbers, and some of you may not. Maybe I know your numbers, but your colleagues don't know your numbers. So please take your time. Say maybe I'm this person. I'm this person. At least you can be sure of who you are. Okay, at least you can't have like random people. Okay, so please go ahead and make an introduction to in the chat so that you can have so you can know that you are there. Okay. Okay. And the last thing is for you to attempt is to try to go to free code camp, free code camp, free code camp, and try to let me see. There should be some. Okay. So free code camp. Let me try to link with you guys. So but that's they have some nice questions or algorithms which you can try out. Okay. Especially when it comes to the structures. What you can do, you can try this out in TypeScript, okay? Try it out, like try them out in TypeScript, okay? So you can just simply write the same code by TypeScript. Very simple, okay? So please do attempt this because I think that's one of the assignments, okay? Which you require to attempt. Okay? So please attempt to at least try to read those which you find challenging, change them to TypeScript, uh, and try them out, okay? Try to put types into them. Of course, you have to write the same code outside the code environment, okay? Because because camp has an environment where we write JavaScript. So let's please try to at least write it down in TypeScript. Okay. Yeah, of course, it's easy. So maybe you can try out any you find challenging, write in TypeScript. Okay. So I'm going to leave. I'm going to because I'm done with the session. So you can leave at your other code, please. So and I'll try to share the recording at least by the end of tomorrow, hopefully.